You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh, yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
So it is Friday. You know what? I'm happy it's Friday. It's been one of those weeks where it has been, well, it's been a very rainy week. Every single day we've had rain. I've been wanting to hang up some security cameras, and I haven't been able to do it because, well, the rain just keeps pouring down and it gets wet, and I hate to mess with electricity when there's wet stuff around. I'm just about ready to lose my voice. Sorry about that. Let me clear that out. So I thought, okay, what am I going to talk about today? And I thought I'm not going to focus on just one subject, because I thought there's something that, two items that I need to discuss with you. And if you fall asleep, it's your tough luck because you didn't get coffee, so go get your coffee. I'll give you a little bit of time. But there are things that have been bothering me this week, and I don't want to sound repetitive because I have been talking about this subject, one of the subjects, over and over and over again. It's only because I'm concerned about it, and I'm concerned about you and how you are preparing yourself about it. Listen, there was a really good statement this morning from Edward Yardeni, who is a really known economist on Wall Street. And he made this statement, and I agree with it 100%. So he said, when the barbers start raising prices, you have to worry about broad-based inflation. Now, I have been talking to you for many months now about inflation and how it's gaining momentum. I mean, we have heard Jamie Dimon this week say that it looks like inflation is here to stay for a while, so they're hoarding cash. So I think that you and we have got to be more proactive, and we have got to start thinking about inflation and how it affects our pocketbook. And it does. It affects our pocketbook. I've been telling you about my experiences of how things are going up and how it's costing more to live. And every single day we get hit with more and more rising of the prices. And I wanted to tell you one other thing, and let me find it here. I did a LinkedIn survey the other day, and I specifically asked, are companies going to raise their prices? Are you going to raise their fees? Because I've been sitting here thinking about, can I really sustain my life based upon the fees that I'm charging for mediation and consultancy? Can I really hold on to that? I mean, can I really do something about that? And I've had to take that really hard look at what I'm going to do on living within this inflationary period. I mean, if barbershops are going to raise their rents, I mean, not their rents, but their fees to you to get your hair cut, that means that a lot of the businesses are going to be doing the same thing. So, I asked the question whether or not if individuals were going to raise their rates. Okay? In fact, the exact question was, are you thinking about raising your fees? And there was a yes, no, and there was a maybe next year option. So this is what happened. Yes, 75% said yes, they're going to raise their fees. No, 0. So no one's thinking about not raising their fees. Maybe in a year, 25%. So here we have 75% in this survey of businesses and firms and law firms and accounting firms stating that, maybe it's time that they start raising their fees. One, they've lost a lot of revenue through the pandemic. Inflation is going up, so the cost of doing business is more. And they now have to pass that on to you and me. And I have to pass on my added expenses to the consumer also. So the fee structure on a lot of these firms, 75% of them have said, yes, they're going to raise their fees this year. So that means that there will be added costs into your tax preparation fees, into your accounting fees, into your attorney fees, into your psychologist fees, whatever kind of fees that you're paying to people, they are looking at, 75% are looking at raising their fees. And they've got to. Because the cost of getting to the office, the cost of using the internet, the cost of driving someplace, the cost of having an office someplace, are all costs that are going up. And so we have to look at it. Taxes are going up, so we have to look at that. So, you see, inflation is a part of our lives now, and if we do not sit down and budget our expenses and the money coming in and the money going out, and saving a portion of that for the storm that's about ready to hit us economically, then we're not doing our job. We're not being fiscally responsible. We're not being good stewards of our money. Now, you can go to my website. I have a free Excel spreadsheet that you can put your budget in and you can put your actual expenses in. And it's free. It's just sitting there, just waiting for you to go to it. It doesn't collect your data. It doesn't do any of that stuff. So don't worry about any of that. It's just there for you to start working on and thinking about what you're spending every single month and how inflation is going to affect you. Because you know what money's coming in, but do you really know how much money is going out? And that's what you really need to focus on. And you may have to make some adjustments that you may not like, but you're going to have to make those adjustments. I have had to make those adjustments. I have cut out a whole bunch of different things that I used to pay for, and they're now gone. Had to do it. I had to sustain. I have to be able to provide for myself. Listen, I'm the only guy in my firm. I'm it. So it's up to me to make the money. It's also up to me to spend my money wisely. And the same thing with you and your families. Listen, the biggest stress that's ever on a family is financial stress. Sometimes that's even more powerful than the mother-in-law stress. It's more powerful than something else. But finances is usually the crux of what drives a marriage into divorce or separation. So I really want you to think about this. So let me get back to what I was saying is that you need to go to my website, which is at www.lodge-co.com. And let me go to it right now myself, and I will tell you exactly where to go. So listen, go up to the top tab. You'll see home, then you'll see Michael Lodge, and then you'll see mediation services, and then you'll see a 60-minute business advice. If you click on that, it will take you to the page and what it does, but then go down to where it says Personal Budget Worksheet. Personal Budget Worksheet. Okay? And I want you to use that because that can really help you define what your income is, what all the money that's coming in, and all the money that is going out. And that includes your student debt, that includes your house debt, that includes everything. So you need to know exactly what that is. And then you know what the net income is or what cash is available to you. And there may not be any cash. I'm sorry, but I've seen a lot of these budgets because people come to me for consulting. And I also have to go through this when I'm doing a divorce because we need to set a budget for the two individuals. I see that there's income coming in, but there's a whole bunch of debt sitting there, a whole bunch of credit card debt, a whole bunch of student loan debt, a whole bunch of car debt, a whole bunch of debt. So there's more money. The liabilities are more than the assets. Remember, if you look at the balance sheet, the top, which is assets, shows cash in the bank. And then down at the bottom, which is the liability side, it shows all of the debt and liabilities that you have to pay out. And the majority of the time, that overshadows the income or the cash that you have on hand. And that's where we are really bad and we are exposed when it comes to inflationary times that we're living through at the moment. So I'm going to say I and you, all of us, have to be proactive in this, and we've got to get our budgets together. We've got to get our life streamlined, because we are going to be faced, and this is my projection, okay? Not a prediction, but a projection. Maybe there's another difference, I don't know. But listen, there's going to be some financial situations that are going to be hitting this country, because we don't have a economic plan coming out of government, so no one knows what's going to happen. We don't know. All that we know is that Biden's going to spend a whole bunch of tax dollars, up to $5 trillion tax dollars in his budget, and he's going to raise taxes. So those two we know. Those two alone raises inflation, raises the cost of doing business, raises the cost of living as families. So we know those are coming, so we have got to plan for them. So I just felt that I needed to express to you that I truly agree with the economist when he says that when barbers start raising their fees, you know that's a problem. We've got inflation. And so you and we've got to live within this inflationary time, but we've got to do it smart. So put on your brains. Do it this week and go to my website, www.lodge, co.com. Okay? Go there, download that Excel spreadsheet, and get to work. You've got some work to do. You've got some planning to do. If you're just going to sit there, listen, I did another poll. I am getting really good at these polls, okay? I hate polls. I don't believe in polls most of the time. Unless I do them. But anyway, I did this other poll. And the other poll was, are you concerned about inflation? And I didn't like the answers that came back. That's why I hate polls, because I don't like the answers, okay? So the very question was, are you concerned about inflation? And the answers were yes, concerned, not concerned, concerned, and have a budget. So this is how it came out. 40% says that they were yes, concerned. 40% also said not concerned. 20% said they were concerned and they have a budget. Now, those numbers right there kind of tell me that you guys don't care what happens to you financially. It's like, are you really watching what's happening on the economic front? Are you looking at your prices? Or are you just paying and you're not thinking about it because you know you've got a credit card, so I'll just use my credit card. So understand that I'm a little bit concerned with the answers that I got. 40% yes, they're concerned. 40% said no, they're not concerned. And 20% says I'm concerned and I've got my plan. Those 20% that are concerned and they're putting together their plan, God bless them, because they're going to make it through this. But those 40% and 40%, I'm really concerned about. Do you not even know that there's an inflationary time? Are you not even an inkling in your gut that says, I need to do something? So I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say it right to your face, okay? Get involved with your finances. Understand we're in inflationary times. Car prices have gone up. Gas prices have gone up. Food prices have gone up. Fees to barbers are going up. Fees to me are going to go up because I am being touched with inflation. So you are going to pay more. As a business, I am being touched by inflation. So I've got to pass it on to you, the consumer. So if you don't plan well, it's your fault, damn it. You've been warned by Mike Lodge. I'm just frustrated because I didn't like the answers, 40 and 40. I hated those answers. because I don't believe that Americans really care of what happens in their country anymore. I think they're bombarded every single day with negative news and everything bad that they've turned it off because they don't want to know. But let me tell you, when inflation hits you, it hits you hard. And if you don't have the cash and the reserves to cover yourself, instead of using that stupid credit card that is charging you so much interest and fees, you should be, at this moment in time, have a budget that works for you and you're not working for it. So, listen, I hate to nag you about it, but I'm going to nag you about it a lot more because it is in my gut to talk to you about it and to get going. Start the clock right now and start planning, doing your budgets. Again, I'll give you that website. It's www.lodge.co.com. Go to the 60-minute business advisory tab up at the top and look for the Excel spreadsheet budget that's right in the middle of the page. You'll see this big. So look, so you see my point? I want you to understand that I'm for you guys, and I've heard your concern through this whole pandemic, and I've heard you small businesses out there during this whole pandemic. And by the way, I want to mention this one more time. Don't stop shopping at the local business or the small business. They still need your help. They're still trying to survive. So support your small business more than the big business. Support your small business. They need your help. Continue doing that. So anyway, I've made that statement. Now I'm going to move on to my next subject, okay? Gosh, I have been listening to Clubhouse. I don't know if you know what Clubhouse is, but it's kind of like going to Instagram, but instead of making statements, instead of putting pictures, you literally are audible. In other words, when you want to say something, the moderator of that room will put you up onto the stage and you can ask a question, make a statement, make a pitch for your company. But that's what it's all about. And they have a whole bunch of topics in there. But of course, since I'm a business guy, I like to follow the business rooms. And then I noticed something is that there's a whole bunch of coaches on there. Now, I don't know what their business backgrounds are, and I don't know what they're coaching in. Maybe they're life coaches, maybe they're business coaches, I don't know. But there's a lot of individuals that are calling themselves coaches that are not really coaches. They have not had the experience level that a lot of people who do real good coaching have. Those are the individuals that I consider coaches who have run companies before, who have managed people before, who have managed crisis before, who have managed taxation before. These are individuals, I'm talking about business coaches now. These are individuals with the experience level that can guide you through the situation that you may be in. And everybody at some point in time needs a business coach. But there's a lot of individuals there that will say, oh yeah, I am a coach, but yet they're trying to push how to get more Instagram followers. That's not a coach, okay? A coach is somebody who is going to help you develop. Now, the other type of coach, which I think I need to talk about in this situation is, listen, if you are going through a divorce, let me state this. If you're going through a separation, if you're going through a divorce, hire a coach. Hire an individual who is a divorce coach that can guide you through the process. Now, what is the process? Well, the process is through mediation, through setting up your own budgets, understanding your financial plans, how to communicate with your ex, how to move forward, how to get involved, how to deal with your children, how to explain the situation to other people. I mean, there's a whole bunch of issues that happens under separation and divorce that you need to address, because some of you are going around in circles And you're spending too much time saying, oh, poor is me. But in actuality, if you got a divorce coach, they could help you and guide you through that process. Because now you have someone to talk to. Now you have someone to rant at. And listen, I have heard a lot of ranting, okay? So it's okay. But at least there's somebody there that can advise you on your taxation issues and when you need to file it and everything, and what to do with your budget, and who's going to pay for what, and how it's going to do on the separation agreement and collection of assets and liabilities, and setting up a budget so that you can live on. There's a whole bunch of various issues that if you haven't done it before, and not only that, if you haven't done it before, but also if you are in a situation where your mind is just stalled because of the stress that you have gone through and everything that led up to the separation and into the divorce. And your mind is just stalled and you don't know what to do. Or sometimes you know what to do, but you just don't have the momentum to go forward unless someone comes along and pushes you and helps you make those decisions. That's just one part of separation and divorce. Now, when I say separation is that period of time before you actually file for that divorce. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be done between the time you decide to separate until the time you file for divorce. There are parenting plans that need to be put in place on who's going to take the children, and holidays and birthdays and insurance and everything else. So those things have got to be decided. If you have those put in place, it makes that process a lot easier. And then if you have a divorce coach that can coach you on how you're communicating, because I'm telling you, a lot of you write big, long, old books that just create more conflict. And so a divorce coach will help you design a better way for you to communicate with the ex. I know it's something that one never thinks about. No, everyone thinks, well, I'm never going to get a divorce. And you all come into mediation with me, and a lot of you say, well, no one even know that we were having problems. And then all of a sudden, bammo, you've got divorce. But you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to walk through the process and work with somebody that can help you. So for those of you in that situation, get a divorce coach. And get someone that mediates these types of situations, because it makes it a lot easier when you have a third party that can go in between you both and get to some kind of a fair agreement between you. And let me tell you, the one of the issues that always comes up is when somebody wants to move their children into a different school, but the other parent does not agree. So then mediation comes in and helps you decide where you're going to send that child. I want to make this process easier for you. I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm all alone. I have to make all these decisions on my own. Hire a divorce coach that can guide you through the process, and you'll feel a lot better. Yeah, you're going to pay for it, but at least you know what you're doing. At least you know through guidance of a divorce coach on which direction to go and how to handle conflict. This conflict can be created very simply with words. Just one negative word or too many words can escalate conflict. We see this all the time, especially you guys who are out there on the internet making comments and pointing fingers at other people and telling them how bad they are. And then all of a sudden somebody comes along and says, no, you're not going to say that to me. And then there is conflict. There's an escalation of conflict. And sometimes there's that escalation because of words create threats. And they become dangerous at some points in time. Words are so very important in that communication process that you adapt to deal with the X or to deal with the situation. Is vital to know because you can get so much done with really good words instead of words of ego and anger. Ego and anger, I tell you, it creates conflict really, really quickly. So those are the two subjects I wanted to talk to you about. So what would we call today's Friday stuff? I guess I don't know. But at least we had some time to talk. I'm always glad to come on and talk to you. Listen, if you guys have any conversations that you would like to have with me, or if you want me to talk about something on the podcast, send me a email at info@lodge-co.com, and I will get back with you. I will respond to you. But if you have a subject that you would like for me to cover, just send it to me. I'll be more than happy to do it. If I don't know the subject matter, I will get to know. Listen, if you like the content of my podcast, help me out. Once you go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. Help me out. I greatly appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I really am. I don't know about you, but this weekend is one of those kinds of weekends where I just want to relax. I just want to sit back and think about my strategy for next week. But I just want to relax. I want to watch a good movie. I want to laugh. I want to cook something that tastes good. And I just want to move forward. And I think all of you do too, right? You just want to move forward. You want to be happy. We have been locked down for so long. We've gone through this pandemic. We've gone through this virus thing. And we don't know what's right and what's wrong, or what's true, what's untrue. So I think we should start focusing on just ourselves. Sit back, read a good book. I've got like 3 books that are sitting on my coffee table at the moment that I have bought and that I haven't gotten to yet. I read like the first 20 pages and then I stopped because I had to get busy on something else. And then I keep telling myself, okay, I'll sit back. This weekend I'm going to sit back and read the rest of the book. And I get busy with other stuff. That's the problem with life. We get busy with stuff. But that's life. Life is a stuffy business, I guess. Listen, everybody go out and have a great weekend. I'll talk with you soon. Have a weekend where it's just about you. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye. This podcast has been brought to you by Michael Lodge and produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.